Hi guys, I'm Dr. Jenny White, a dentist in Sarasota, Florida, and her fearless patient Susan with our podcast, Open Wide, Unfiltered Opinions Between a Dentist and Her Patient. Over the past 25 years or so, I've been sitting in a little room talking to myself all day, and I've gained a lot of wisdom through that process, which I want to share with you. We hope our podcast casts optimism and fearlessness to you so you can rise to the top, stay at the top, and dream bigger than you've ever imagined. So on today's Soup du Jour, we have a juicy discussion about Ikigai. Ikigai. This is not about your husband being an Ikigai. This is a Japanese secret to a long and happy life. I first heard about this on the Ed Milet entrepreneurial podcast, and I had no idea what he was talking about. His podcast, by the way, is very uplifting. Shout out to Ed. His guest mentioned Ikigai and living according to the tenets of this way of being. So, of course, I had to look into it, and I bought the book about it. So you guys can look into that if you're curious. I was curious starting my little research project here as to which countries have the oldest living people according to life expectancy. So I Googled, of course, and I discovered, and this is interesting, Susan, Monaco, San Marino, Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea, Andorra, Switzerland, Australia, and the lovely Singapore. Mm. Singapore's in everything. Mm. Singapore's like the healthiest, the wealthiest. Yeah. Like it's Singapore's. I got to go to Singapore. Have you been?
Yeah, I have. It's
okay.
Great.
All of these countries have high quality healthcare, healthy diets, active lifestyles, and supportive social cultures. But I want to ask you, Susan, this longevity topic seems to be so hot right now. I just heard the term inflammation and aging together, meaning how an inflammatory lifestyle leads to aging. I'm guilty of it. I think we all are. Causes a low-grade chronic inflammation in our bodies, contributing to a risk for disease, increased risk for disease. So I kind of want to weave Ikigai, the Japanese way of finding you're happy, and inflammation so we can all live to over 100 years old. So let's go. I'm going to take you down a dark, deep, slippery slope as to how far we've come as far as a culture. These are some examples of the crazy inflammation stuff we used to do from the 50s to the 70s. Magazines back in the 50s and 60s had pictures of pinup girls promoting hairspray, lipstick, cookware, and mid-century kitchen gadgets that would lead to your greatness. They had everything from manipulating women consumers based on the shape of the coffee percolator, cleaning with new Ajax cleanser, which will speed up your cleaning your kitchen, Alka-Seltzer, taking away your tummy pain, L&M cigarettes. Do you remember this? L&M cigarettes will make you a better sailor, and you'll be glad you did.
Oh, God.
You'll have the best taste in smoking. No, we're not promoting smoking. CoverGirl makeup will improve your complexion and help you find Mr. Right. Ultra Bright toothpaste, being the dentist, it gives you sex appeal. That was the ad, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now we're into making our gut microbiome healthier, keeping toxins off our skin, keeping our minds healthy, reducing our stress, and living into our hundreds. So as a culture, I think we've come a long way. Yay, America. But we have a lot to learn about this Ikigai concept. So there are basically 9 chapters in this book. I thought we'd just go through all 9. And interestingly enough, 9 symbolizes the completion and the end of a cycle. So maybe you start the book, you finish the book, they pick 9 chapters because you're finishing the concept or something. Susan, that's a lot of talking. What do you have to say here?
Well, I want to build on something you just said, which is a component of Ikigai is to appreciate the decay in life, or to appreciate all parts of life. We tend to focus, particularly in the United States, I think, on, robust and healthy and so forth, but we don't really pay attention to watching how life unfolds. And so a tenet of Ikigai is embrace all parts of nature, all parts of life, including the bad pieces too. So I love that about it. It's a real flow. It goes in a real cycle.
It
Yeah.
really is. It really is. And we've got a lot to learn here. So let's jump in. Chapter 1, The Art of Staying Young While Growing Old, is called Ikigai. It means the happiness of always being busy. And I've got to tell you guys, BHT Tom is continually on my case about I don't sit down. I don't just relax. So now I can honestly tell him it's because I'm super happy. I love what I do. I love being busy. I love being a dentist. I love podcasting and all the things that go with it. So I'm happy. It also asks, what is your reason for being? What is the reason we get up in the morning? For me, I honestly want to see what's going on with everybody else. I want to help people. I want to get better at my craft, dentisting. I don't even think that's a word, but I want to get better. Podcasting. They're excellent mental exercises for me. And I also would love to explore painting and photography at some point. So, Susan, why would you say you get up in the morning?
Well, but what you just pointed out is exactly Ikigai. It wants you to start to figure out what gives you joy in life, like what, and to pursue it. Because you're right, we're all so busy all the time that we actually don't get quiet enough to figure out what does give me joy in life, what does excite me every single day, why do I get out of bed? So I think that's a really important component of Ikigai. So as I was thinking about this for myself, this may sound contradictory, but I really love to work. I really do. So
I love work too.
I get a lot of, I really do get a lot of pleasure out of going to work every day and solving problems and, managing people and so forth. So that's important for me. But then there's other things that I like to do too. And so I'll have to, make that list and pursue those a little bit more. But because finding joy, actually, I live a joyful life. I don't have any trouble there, but I probably do need to concentrate a little bit more on getting rid of stuff that doesn't give me as much joy and participating more in things that do. Yeah.
I think it would be a fun exercise. What do you think? To make a list of reasons why you get out of bed. Why do you get out of bed? I mean, have you ever thought about it?
Well,
I've
some
never
days
really
I don't, to be
thought
honest
about
with you.
it. And on those
I'm like,
days,
oh,
you make
great,
a
it's
list
Saturday, I
of
don't have to get out of
reasons
bed.
I don't get out of bed. And hangover cannot be one of them.
Okay. No, just vegging out and de-stressing, which is another Ikigai component, right? Like finding ways to de-stress, right?
Yes. It's interesting to me that in chapter 1, there's no Japanese word for retirement in the sense of leaving the workforce for good. Having a purpose in life is super important in the Japanese culture. And I'll tell you what, as long as God allows me to do what I do, I have zero desire to stop. My better half, Tom, was probably keeling over because he wants me to retire, last month. But what am I going to do? I mean, pet dogs, travel, visit with friends, pet dogs again. Like, I love my life and what I do. So, okay, I'll get off of that. I thought everyone would like to know those who practice this Ikigai way of life, they live longer, suffer from fewer chronic illnesses such as cancer and heart disease. They enjoy vitality and health that is unthinkable, and they have fewer free radicals in their body. They have more moderate symptoms during menopause. They maintain higher levels of sexual hormones, and the rate of dementia is well below the global average. Dementia these days is like everywhere.
It is everywhere. Yeah. Can we
Crazy.
go back to the sexual hormones? I didn't read that part. Was that in the book? Where was that?
It's page 496. Help. Okay. All right. Also, active mind, youthful body. I think those two are pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
If you have an active mind, it's going to keep your body younger.
Right.
And the longevity killer, stress. I did not know there is an American Institute of Stress.
Oh, of course it would be.
You ever heard
Yeah.
of that?
No, but I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it exists. Right.
All right. Well, 55% of
We should
Americans.
join.
Okay, I've already signed up. 55% of Americans are stressed at work, and I thought I would just list the things that happen for us when we are stressed. Neurons activate our pituitary gland. The pituitary gland releases corticotropin. See, I'm getting my geek on here. The adrenal gland releases adrenaline and cortisol. The respiratory and pulse rates increase. Muscles tense. Dopamine and blood sugar increase in your body. Did you have any idea all this is going on
No.
when you're stressed?
No, I did know about the cortisol, but I didn't know about the other stuff. Yeah.
Our poor body.
Yeah.
So if you maintain that over the long haul, your body's going to suffer. All right, so let's move on. How to live longer and better by finding your purpose. Do you know what your purpose is? Tough one.
It is a tough one. I mean, look, do I want to say my purpose is to be kind and nice to people? Yes, I do.
Okay.
Do I always meet that goal? No, I don't. But as I was thinking about this earlier today, I was thinking that if I was a bazillionaire, my purpose would be to just make everybody's lives better. Like I would have the resources and the wherewithal to just lift people up, and in whatever way it was meaningful to them. Do you remember the show? This goes way back. This is when I was a teeny tiny kid, but there was a show called The Millionaire on TV where this guy would drive up in a limousine and he'd crack the window just a little, like in front of some house that really needed
I've
the
heard
money.
of it.
And the people would come out and he'd slip a check for like, back then it was like $1,000, which today would be like $1 million. And it just changed the people's lives completely. So that would be my purpose if I had to, if I had the wherewithal to do it. But one of the components of Ikigai is to refuse to worry. And I tend to worry too much about everything. And in Ikigai, they say, don't worry. And I think I told you one time about I had a grandmother who lived to be 104.
Yeah.
Who set a timer for 10 minutes every day, and that was her time to be sad. And then when the timer went off, she wasn't sad anymore.
That's amazing.
I don't know how
That's
you can
great.
turn it on and off like that. But that's an Ikigai component, isn't it? Like, okay, I'm not going to let this rule my life. I'll honor it for what it is, but I'm moving on. I think that's a really important component of Ikigai. Stop worrying, or try to stop worrying. It's not easy to do. Yeah.
So a financial guru of mine, Ray Dalio, he founded what did he found? He found Bridgewater, the largest hedge fund in the U.S. Anyway, he says, which is contradictory to what you just said, he said, if you worry, you don't have to worry. And I'm like, ugh.
I know, I kind of
would
live that, actually.
I know, but it's not good for us because all the things that go on in our bodies when we worry, holy moly, yeah. All right, so the book list, I agree with everything you said there, and I want to get a timer. We're going to have a worry timer.
Right.
Let's get a worry
try
timer.
That. Yeah, let's actually try that between now and another podcast, and we'll see how it works.
Perfect. How to live longer and better by finding your purpose. How do we find our purpose? It's said all the time, find your purpose. But they list psychotherapy, logotherapy, Morita therapy, and Nikon meditation. I've heard of psychotherapy. I've heard of logotherapy. I've never heard of Morita therapy and Nikon meditation. They all lead to your Ikigai, finding your purpose.
But the only trouble with Morita is he wants you to go to bed for a week and get quiet and think about what you think about during the time that you're in bed for a week. Well, who's got time to go to bed for a week?
I know, but wouldn't it be nice? Susan, you have to stay in that. No, don't get out of bed. Back in.
No, I understand his theory, which is to get quiet for an extended period of time. So what bubbles up during that time when you're quiet is really what you should be paying attention to. That part I do get, yeah.
His treatment protocol lasts 15 to 21 days and consists of a lot of different things. Ultimately, he asks you to accept your feelings, focus on the present moment, and focus on yourself and what do you need to be doing right now. Nikon is pretty simple. I thought it was going to be complicated, but ask yourself in meditation, what have I received from person X? What have I given to person X? What problems have I called person X? Your desire to be emotionally charged will dissipate as you stop identifying others as the cause of your problems. And This is so funny. At the end of it, I'm reading that and they go, and if that doesn't work, just wait 3 days and your emotions will dissolve.
Oh, jeez. That's what it says?
Yeah, in the
Oh,
book.
my God.
So what have you received? What have you given? And what problems have you brought to that person? That's Naikan.
That's a good way to think about it, though, actually. Yeah.
It is.
It really is, because we're so self-centered all the time that we don't think about what our actions do to other people. I like that a lot.
I agree. Now we're on to how to turn work and free time into spaces for growth. Step 1, go with the flow. Do you think you do that? Go with the flow? I don't go with the flow.
Yeah,
I have a structure.
I mean, I like structure too, but I also understand that life throws you curveballs and you got to go with the flow. Yeah.
Yeah, you're forced to go with the flow sometimes. Step 2, sophisticated simplicity. Not a lazy simplicity, but sophisticated. Search out new frontiers and always take your work to the next level.
Mhm.
I do that.
I do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you do.
Yeah.
You have a great business.
Yeah, thanks.
Uh,
So do you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My teeth look great. Thanks to you.
Thank you. All right. Step 3, passion. When we're passionate, we can't stop. Do what you love until the day you die. I'm down with that.
Yeah, me too.
And I love this one. This is where I think people are missing out. Enjoy the microflow. I love the word microflow.
What is that again?
Laundry,
Oh.
paperwork, mowing the yard.
Yeah.
Do you say mowing the yard or mowing the lawn?
Lawn.
Lawn? I
Yeah.
say yard. Anyway,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Microflow. Enjoy the microflow. Flow is a muscle. If you train it, you'll flow more.
Okay. Okay.
Microflow.
More laundry in my future, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Um,
Go ahead.
Well,
Take it
no, I was
away.
just going to continue with this list, which the first is refuse to worry. We just talked about that. Create positive habits such as growing a garden, exercising, or cultivating spirituality. That's an important part of Ikigai, to, again, find your passion and do it and follow it.
And I think, the more that I'm researching and we're doing these shows about different concepts, it's not about going to a gym and lifting dumbbells and bench pressing and being on a treadmill. It's about jumping in your living room and singing a song. It's about just move.
Yeah, and actually, I
Garden.
just read something the other day and it comes out of a Japanese study, that walking every day is an important thing to do, which we already know, but walking at a slower to moderate pace, like jogging, running a treadmill, is actually not as good for you as walking at a slower pace.
I'm going to die then because I just did that this morning.
I know, I did too. So, and I have a hard time walking at a slower pace, to be honest with you, but there's the study. I don't know, do with it what you
That's
want.
the New England in you. You can't get it out of you. You got to go,
that's
go, go,
true.
go, go.
Okay, can I go?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay, feed and nurture your friendships. And this, I think, is extraordinarily important, because in a later podcast, I think we're going to talk about blue zones and people who live longer. And what we'll discover in that podcast is the community that they live in is essential to a longer, healthier, more robust life. Like who you have around you and sustaining your friendships is extremely important. And that's a component of Ikigai as well.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. And, I was thinking it's kind of an overwhelming thought to think, okay, I've got to have really healthy social circles and a support system that's off the charts. I think it can just start with your neighbors, like your closest people that are around you. If you have, neighbors that would be a good fit to just start with them.
Yeah, or a church, or a bingo hall, or I don't know, some community of people that you can be part of. I think.
And you can count on.
And you can count on.
Yeah, I agree. It infiltrates so much more than just having somebody to do something with on a Friday night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved this. So we're kind of getting ready to wrap it, but they talked about how much we should eat. And they practiced this concept called hara hachi bu. I love that. Hara hachi bu.
Arahachi bu.
Hara hachi bu. Hora, 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 hachi bu.
Jeez.
So when you stop eating when you're 80% full.
Yeah, I don't always do that.
But we've got to be able to feel.
How do you know when you're 80% full?
We've
I
got
guess
to be.
that's it.
Well, we got to pay attention.
Yeah, okay.
I think paying attention is the trick. Like, pay attention when your stomach feels full. Stop. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. They
Okay.
talk about eating a wide variety of foods, especially vegetables, 5 servings of fruit and vegetables a day. Grains are the foundation of their diet, primarily rice. They rarely eat sugar, and they drink a mixture of green tea and jasmine flowers. The closest thing I think we have in the States is jasmine tea. And they also drink this Japanese fruit juice, and I don't know how to pronounce this, shikuwasa. It's a cross between a lime and a mandarin orange. Of course, they recommend exercise and breathing.
Yeah, that's
Breathing
important.
while
That is
you
super
move.
important. Yeah.
Yeah. And doing karaoke, getting up early, weeding your garden, yoga, tai chi, qigong. You don't have to go to the gym like we talked about. And
Yeah.
it takes the pressure off.
Not only do you not have to go to the gym, but in Japan at 7:30 every morning, all over Japan, there's a radio station called Radio Taiso, and it's all about calisthenics.
Oh,
And so it walks you through a routine of calisthenics, and it's in public buildings. You can listen to it at home. It's in schools. It's an amazing thing that they do it nationwide.
That's
At
cool.
7:30 in the morning. Yeah, isn't that cool?
I wish we had something like that.
I know. We
Maybe
really-
we should broadcast live every morning at 7:30.
from bed.
Maybe not.
Bed calisthenics. One other point I want to make, though, you mentioned logotherapy as one of the therapies that's mentioned in Ikigai, and logotherapy was developed by Viktor Frankl, and Viktor Frankl is a Holocaust survivor who came up with this theory, and he has an expression that says, you can take everything away from a man or a woman, of course, in this case, except their attitude. And coming from him, that's such an important thing to say. And isn't that the most important part of life is your attitude? And you can take everything away from me, but you cannot move my attitude, my optimism, or my curiosity about life. I just think that sums this up for sure.
It's one of the most beautiful sayings
Yeah.
ever. I mean, honestly, if I think about that a little more, I'll
Yeah.
tear up and start to
No,
cry.
it's true.
It's so powerful coming
Yeah.
from him.
Yeah. We had an earlier podcast where you mentioned Anne Frank, and she had some similar saying that it's just an amazing ability to look beyond bad things and hold on to your core values of optimism. Yeah.
So the last thing that they mention in the little book, which is right here, if anybody wants to get it, is resilience. Never give up when the cards are stacked against you. And they have a Japanese proverb that says, fall 7 times, rise 8. Which I love.
I love that
And
too.
honestly, this is part of our podcast motto, rise to the top.
Fall 7 times.
Stay at the top and dream bigger than you've ever imagined. And if you fall 7 times, for God's sakes, get up 8. And that is an Ikigai wrap. Woo! We thank you for listening and hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, please share this show with friends and family and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This way, you'll never miss weekly drops. Stay strong, dream big, and floss your teeth.